can't believe I didn't level it this way. What was I thinking? What the heck am I gonna do here? This is Simple Living with Biata, and I'm building my dream home and homestead from scratch with very little experience. And as each week goes by, this dream comes closer and closer to reality. The first year was land development, and the last year I've been working on the framing series, building this dream home up. I'm getting so close to being able to call in for my framing inspection. I still have to do my electrical and all of these little tasks. Last week I was working on this giant list of all the little things I want to get done before starting electrical, and I think I need to redo it. I've gotten a lot checked off, but there's some more I need to add on to it, and it's full. So I have to build the bulkheads for the venting. Exhaust in the kitchen needs to be dealt with. The supply in the living room needs to be dealt with. I have to strap all venting and ABS. I have to do the plumbing. I have to do the nail plates. I have to, for the roof, do the ridge vent, the trim, and the ABS boots. And then start on electrical, and then framing inspection, and then insulation, and then drywall. Oh my gosh, it's still so far out. I'm not even close. Let's be real. And we're gonna work on bulkheads today. I'm building this bulkhead out of 1x3s and 1x1s. I had a lot of people saying I should go with steel instead of wood. And yes, you are gonna get straighter studs with that. I had a really hard time deciding what to do, and it came down to electrical. I will have electrical running through these bulkheads as well. And if you're gonna go with steel, you have to be really careful. You might have to have armored wire. So I'm just gonna go with wood. And that way, if I decide to run wires through the bulkhead, I have no issues there. Obviously the wires can't touch the ductwork, but it's just an option there. Oh my gosh, literally every time. Time to mark 16 inches on center. I'm realizing by having why did I call them 1x1s earlier? I'm realizing by having the 2x3s kind of facing this way, it's gonna make it more difficult for screwing things in. I did wanna use 2x3s just because I find that they're a little bit straighter, or you can find straighter pieces than the 2x2s. So I found two nice straight pieces, and that's just what I went with. Wow, it's going crazy right now. I'm so thankful the home is closed in. This is nuts. I actually forgot to tell you, we had a huge storm, rainstorm, windstorm last night. Some of the insulation ripped off the outside of the house, and a tree is like hanging over the road right now. I took a video of it this morning. Okay, back to it. Now I'm just pre-drilling where the screws are gonna go into the trusses to hold this into place. Now time to get it level and screw it into place. That took a bit of time. I truthfully just despise bulkheads. This makes the entrance feel so short. Darn air recovery systems. There's no way around this one without having a bulkhead somewhere. It needed to be somewhere. Maybe I'll just do like a beautiful pendant light here to distract from the fact that it feels so much shorter in here now. This section's up, level, secure, everything's good to go. I'm looking at the next section and how I'm gonna be able to secure everything to this wall. So what I'm thinking of doing is adding some blocks in here in the insulation and getting those nice and secure. I don't know what else to do. So I'm just gonna do each little section.
Cut the insulation out and then add little blocks every 16 inches on center, and that hopefully will be strong enough to hold the next piece to build the bulkhead.
I can't seem to screw these into place. They keep wobbling. I'm gonna try nailing it, see how that goes. Sometimes I feel like so lost with what to do. The insulation is kind of in the way. It's not pushing in nicely. So it's either this or I can take this piece. This might be better for screwing in drywall. Why do I second guess myself so much? I'm not gonna be able to level this whole thing. Oh, my arm. So I'm gonna just put a temporary support piece in because I only have 2 hands and I feel like I need 4 for this. Temporarily screwing into the wall, and I'll retape the vapor barrier after. I can't even put a level up here to be able to see if this is level. Could put another block up, get the blocks level. These two should be level to each other. Let's pray. Oh, they're so off. I never shimmed that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. What the heck was I thinking? How? Oh, why didn't I think of that? So that side needs to drop 1/4 of an inch at least. Oh, I can't believe I didn't level it this way. What was I thinking? I think I'm gonna time lapse this. See if I can fix it all. I have it level now, and unfortunately, it's like a 1/2 inch out. And I remember having such an issue with this wall where the door is, the concrete is out here. And so for the span of across like 4 trusses, so 6 and a bit feet, it's out a 1/2 inch from one end to the other. So I've shimmed it. It's not pretty, but it's level now. And I might have to do some like self-leveler concrete over here. Like we had to shim the door because of how out it was. So all of these little things add up. So now this is level, and these 2 pieces are level. So the piece that I put across here on the top should also be level. Plus 1. For such a short span, it's out an 8. I'm gonna lower this an 8. I really just don't think there's much else I can do. I'm assuming I need to drop this a little lower too. Yeah, it needs to drop a 16. And then for this hole here, I have it pre-drilled, and you just wanna lower it so that when the screw catches, it sucks the wood back up. It is official, I have a bulkhead. It looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think that now that everything is up, I'm really not gonna notice it. It's not like, you know, a feature wall. Okay, I cannot cross build bulkheads off of the list because I've only done one and I need to do the second one. Bulkhead number 2 is smaller and hopefully easier. This bulkhead, like I've said previously, will be hidden by the built-in cabinetry that's going to be here for the closet. So I'm gonna go across and up to this truss and over to this stud. So that's pretty easy. I think I'll just use scrap 2x3s for this. So we're going like this. There we go. So I thought this piece was a good idea because it was going to inset into the wall. And now I'm realizing I can't do that because this portion will be on the inside of the vapor barrier and beside the insulation, and the rest of it won't be. So I just have to cut that part off. So putting something like this up means I need to insulate, vapor barrier, and acousto-seal all of the seams, which makes me wonder, are you supposed to do bulkheads before your framing inspection? I just assumed you were. I mean, it makes sense to have your bulkheads up for your framing inspection. So I'm just gonna go with it. And if my inspector wants to see what this looks like, got it on video. So that's perfect. And then we gotta acousto-seal all the crevices. Oh my gosh, I probably should have done this first before the ducting. Oh dear, this is tight. This stuff gets everywhere. Realizing I just put vapor barrier over a wet product. I feel like this stuff doesn't dry. I don't know, maybe that was a bad call. I love it when Google gives you zero information on whether it dries out or not. Okay, it took me a second. It is actually on here. It does not dry and it must be covered by a vapor barrier. So I can continue. I'm realizing that this all needs to be vapor barriered as well. And I just have no clue how I'm gonna do that. Sorry, my phone died and you missed me putting this up. But I am like beyond confused as to how to make this mess work. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna trim. It is pre-drilled to secure this nicely. Start with one corner. We're gonna go level this side. Repeat after me. I am not going to fuss over something that's a 16th out when it's going to be in a closet. I came into today with thinking this was only going to take me an hour and a half, and that was giving me a ton of time. But silly old me forgets all these little details. All of those details are so important, and the bulkhead cannot be done without it. But she is done and she is level, which means I get to cross one more thing off my list. Building bulkheads is complete. Next on the to-do list, I'm gonna try to get a bunch of stuff done today, starting with like an easy task, I'm hoping, just to get my body moving and my brain moving. I wanna start with my nail plates for the venting that I have through the walls. So I ordered these nail plates to go over these studs. They're not even gonna work. I have my longer ones for the bottom. That really sucks. Maybe one day I'll have a use for these, but those don't work. Anyways, I have them for these like openings at the bottom here. I have to figure out how to get everything to fit. And I'm already a little frustrated because I thought this was gonna be an easy task. And now I'm just like, there's no way this is gonna be an easy task. First things first, I'm gonna notch this out for drywall. Okay, the pipe on the other side needs to have more wiggle room. Ah, this is quite the process. I really wish I didn't put the poly so high. The PEX tube is in the poly. It was an extra precaution to protect the PEX underneath the slab. My issue right now is that the poly comes up way too high. I need to have it come lower. I'm not sure how to make that fix without cutting into the PEX and then not having the proper length of PEX. I think I'm gonna try to find that tool that cuts ABS around like the width of it and use it on this instead of using something that clamps down because I can't cut the PEX underneath. I think I figured out how to cut this actually. I just did like a light cut with the multi-tool and now I'm going in with my X-Acto knife and just gently scoring it to not get the PEX underneath. And it's like, it's kind of coming out here. Yay! Yay! Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with that. And then everything just fits. It fits so nicely. I'm not gonna risk cutting all of this poly on all of the pipes. I am gonna try to find a better solution for cutting it not as low, but that one was in the way, like fully in the way. So I'm glad I was able to cut it, but I don't want to risk it because I don't want to cut through the PEX tube accidentally. I'm just gonna do that where it's absolutely needed. All right, the next one I think might be even worse. I'm kind of frustrated with myself because I didn't know that for toilets, the fresh water needs to go on the left-hand side of the toilet. So like, why didn't I have this pipe coming through over here, closer to where the toilet's gonna be? And I need to make more room in this spot. Like there's not enough room here for this to even fit in. Honestly, I wish I knew just even a little bit more about plumbing before I started this, like how I have my PEX tubes on either side of my vent. It makes no sense. Why did I do it like that? While I'm working here, I need a little bit of a suggestion. So I was on the phone with my inspector the other day and I asked him about my plumbing test. I did a pressure test for all of my plumbing before I poured the foundation. And in my mind, I wasn't gonna have to do another test, but I have to do another test for everything that is above the foundation. So now I don't know what to do because I've cut everything flush to the ground, which means I'm gonna have to glue on caps and then cut those caps off. I also cut the cap that's in the pump chamber. And I really don't want to go in our pump chamber right now. I need to figure out a way to do a pressure test and I'm not quite sure how to do it. It needs to just hold 7 pounds of pressure, I think, PSI. So let me know if you have any thoughts without having to glue caps everywhere, because gluing those caps are going to be so tricky to get off. And maybe there's a way that I don't have to go into my pump chamber. Like if I go to my clean out that's outside, I've heard there's like a balloon thing that you can expand and it helps hold the pressure. I don't know. For this next spot, I got this nice little custom piece made. It just fits, luckily. And I think since this is a load-bearing wall, that my inspector will be happy I did this. You can cut through a top plate. You just can only cut through 40%. This is more than just like a smash plate. It's really strong steel and I have 4 screw holes tying it all together. I really thought I was gonna be able to check this off the list today, my nail plates, but I can't. I just need to wait for that order to come in for longer nail plates. So on to the next task. I have to get the exhaust returned for the ERV all hooked up into the kitchen. I went and I searched high and low for like one of these vent things that has a 5-inch like circle coming from the back instead of this 5-inch oval coming in. Those are for your like typical registers and not for the venting, I guess. I have to figure out what to do here. Someone suggested to like cut this bottom piece off and patch it and then cut out a circle in the back. And then that way I'm not dealing with this. See, I need to explain myself a bit better. So in order for this oval piece to work, this is gonna need to be like up here. They actually wanted it on the wall, but said, you know, right above the wall is probably fine. Anyways, this is my goal. I want it to go right here, which means cutting a circle in the back, be able to get it to vent out, which means patching this. And the reason why I put it here specifically is because this is where the fridge is going. And I thought it would look nice to just be kind of above the fridge, a little bit less noticeable. First things first, I'm gonna get the oval piece out. I have a feeling this is gonna take a lot of work. So like these tabs are in here, but then it looks like some of it might be welded together in here. Get some safeties on. There we go. First step complete. Now to patch it, I was thinking of using this to patch it with since it's already quite flat. It fits right inside, and I'm thinking if I screw it in and tape it, that it should be fine. The bottom is officially fixed. Time to cut a hole in the back. For this being a major DIY, I am pretty happy with this. Start with strapping and blocking. I will be strapping my whole ceiling, so I need to bump this portion out then. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very proud of myself on this one. It took some ingenuity to figure out how to get it done, and I'm really happy that I even attempted ERV and ducting. I haven't put the ERV unit up yet, but having most of the ducting done is pretty exciting. And done. exhaust the kitchen.
Thank you so much for watching me get these random mini tasks done that just need to get done before I can call in for my framing inspection. There is so much left to go, so tune in, subscribe, like, and follow, and I will see you next week where I start electrical.
I almost got the side done, and then I looked up and realized I'm missing a pot light right here at the top.